What's good, YouTube? Ozimoy here. Today I'm going to talk about The Violent Sleep of Reason, the new Meshuggah album that has been out since Friday. I just got it today. Actually, my pre-order, I did pre-order this, but I got it today, 5 days after the release date. So this is the vinyl, the turquoise orange bicolored vinyl. I thought it was pretty badass, so I had to get this. This is not gonna be a traditional track-by-track review. It's just going to be me speaking freely about what thoughts this about my thoughts about this album, right? And I've been listening, like, today was the first time I actually listened to this album from the very beginning till the end. And you know, I've been listening to the track separately from YouTube because, you know, fucking hell, I couldn't hold myself because, you know, everyone hyping this album all over the internet and shit, so I just went straight ahead and listened to it. But you definitely get a different feeling when you listen to the entire album from the beginning to the end, all the tracks in that certain order. The Violent Sleep of Reason, Clockworks, this track playing here, the opener. You know, of course the first track is very important for the entire album, because if the first track sucks, then you're not going to be really motivated to keep listening and like that. But of course this didn't suck. You know, the first thing that hit me with this track, from the very first riff, or the first groove, that you can actually hear the ghost notes on the snare drum Tom's is playing. That is a big fucking plus from me, because that is something that has, in my opinion, been missing. The ghost notes. Actually, of course you can hear them live, they're audible live, but not on the previous albums, and is certainly brings some more, you know, it fills up the groove and gives it a little bit something more, and overall this album has a more organic feel to it, because of course because they recorded it live, and that is also something pretty amazing, because, you know, that is something that separates this album from the previous ones. As Thomas said, the last time they recorded something live in a studio was back in '93 when they recorded the EP None. And so it's pretty crazy that this band goes back to the studio and does something like this. Like, how many bands in 2016 record something live? And even one track, I don't even remember which one it was, but one track from this album is recorded without a metronome, and that is also like big ups for that. And you know, Meshuggah's been around for 30 years, and these guys are in their mid-40s, and they still kick more ass than any of these new gen bands. You know, I'm not claiming Meshuggah is gent or whatever. I don't listen to gent, I listen to Meshuggah. But, you know, yeah. I was gonna say something about, yeah, basically that. And then, well, the entire atmosphere of this album is very typical Meshuggah in the way that, you know, it's very dark, and it's extremely heavy, and it's extremely confusing, right? Because, you know, the first listen, even after I've been listening to these tracks for 5 days now, and I still have no idea what's going on whatsoever, because as a drummer, of course, I listen to a lot of the drumming and, you know, the polyrhythms and all that, and it's really hard to get a grip on. You have to listen to these for like months, years. So you know, and the thing with Meshuggah albums, like all of them, is that they grow on you. They really do. You keep finding new stuff. What I'm saying is that you really, on the first listen, obviously you have really no idea what's going on whatsoever. But then after, if you give it time, you're gonna, you know, I still listen to the previous albums on a daily basis almost, and I still keep finding new stuff. Born in Dissonance, this track. This was the first track they released from this album, and you know, everyone went crazy, like fucking new Meshuggah and shit. That is, but I wasn't, like, honestly, I was really, of course, excited and all, but how should I say? This was maybe a little bit, if you could call any Meshuggah track easy, this would be the easy track. This is pretty straightforward. This is, you can hear that, you know, Thomas Hake has not been the main writer of this song, because they tend to be a lot more complex and all that. And you can hear that by the second track they released, Nostrum. Nostrum is a lot more complicated in every way possible. And I, you know, judging by this track, I remember I was like really hyped for the upcoming album, but then again I was like hoping that it would consist of, you know, many different things. You know, this would be one, and then there would be like slower tracks and heavier tracks, and you know, really more complex shit and all that. So and then when they released this album, after the very first listen, when I had finished listening all the tracks, whoa, that was like, I really found out that this is a pretty diverse album, as Thomas said in an interview a lot of time, maybe 1 year ago or something. It was one of the first things we knew about this album, was that it was going to be pretty diverse, and it was, or it is pretty diverse. And there is something from, I guess you could say, like, there is something from each previous album in this album. You can hear something and go like, this shit sounds like nothing. This sounds like Catch 33. This sounds like fucking Obs. No, maybe not. Well, yeah, there's like something from each album, I guess. There's a lot of K-sphere in this album as well. So this is definitely, like, in conclusion, this is definitely a release worth picking up if you like the previous albums. It's gonna blow your fucking brains out. And, you know, I really look forward to listening more to this and sort of wrap my mind around what's going on with these rhythms and all that. And I hope these guys, I live in Finland, and Meshuggah hasn't been in Finland like since 2013, and that was the best gig ever, so I really look forward to see them live one beautiful day soon. But that's pretty much it for today. I'm just gonna keep enjoying this album, and you know, that's it. Thanks for watching. Peace out.